What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. I'm super pumped. Got a very cool guest with us today. So sit back, relax, tune in, grab yourself a cup of coffee. She is a growth architect, the founder of the Women's Code, and also a podcast host. Please welcome Beate Chelette. Beate, we're doing it.
I know we're doing it. I'm so excited to be here, Deanna. Let's dive right in.
Oh, yes. So I guess, what is the growth architect? What does that mean?
So the growth architect is the brand that developed because I love systems and strategies. You know, being probably from Germany, it may just kind of like run in my blood to do so. And so because I'm so strategic and I love systems and blueprints so much, I designed this idea of the 5-star success blueprint. Very much like an architect has a blueprint to build a house, I use blueprints to build a system to scale impact and grow authority for the entrepreneurs, business owners, solopreneurs, podcasters, and coaches that we work with.
That's awesome. So, which is, I mean, I'm all about systems and all, like, because I'm German too, German and Polish. So I've got that like in me as well. So can you tell us like what that looks like with somebody that you've worked with and how that's helped grow their business? What, it's solopreneur, entrepreneur, or even a podcaster. So that would be good to hear.
Yeah. So for example, like a really great example that is very recent is a lady that came to me from London, and she is a data scientist, which is by itself like really, really cool.
Yeah.
And so she is developing a framework for ethical AI, because we know a lot about artificial intelligence, and we know that when we go to Amazon or any of these brands and we do our search, that what gets suggested or how the research, the results come up, that something is powering that.
Yes.
And we also know that the people that are programming these things are having a certain bias. So if it's a man, it'll have that man's viewpoints and bias.
Yeah.
And so her idea was that she wanted to create a system on how to create this framework so she could sell it. So we spend a day together, and we literally whiteboard this out. If we do it virtually, I do it via a whiteboarding software. And she was then able to articulate exactly what it is, what the steps are that the system entails, what the outcome is, using her to create, these types of programs for her luxury retail clients. And then she walks out, and 2 days later, she closes a deal for $50,000.
Wow, that's very impressive. That's pretty cool. Holy cow. So that's a great example for something like that. I know what a data scientist is, and that's just, there are a lot of bias. I get those things that pop up too, and I'm like, where did this come from? I've never searched for anything like this in my life. Like, what's the thought process behind this? So
it's really sometimes very interesting. And once I worked with her, Deanne, I realized that, now I'm sensitive to it. Now I'm really paying attention to kind of what I'm being fed on my news feed and the cookies and on all the searches that I do or the websites I go to. And it's absolutely fascinating. So and because my impact is measured by the impact I help others make.
Yes.
So that makes me feel amazing, because now I know helping someone like that, the impact that she makes with her work now multiplies what I do.
Yeah. Has there ever been someone that has come to you to work with you that was not a good fit, somebody that you felt like you wouldn't be able to help in their growth?
Yeah. And typically that would be somebody who comes to me and says, I could be this, or I could be that, but I also could be doing that. Or wait, what about this idea? And I bet you have people like that too. They come to you, they say, I'm amazing, and I have 698 talents, and I'm coming to you in the hopes that you're going to help me to figure out of those 689 talents, of which I have never committed to any one of them, that somehow magically you and I, as we're working together, are going to find out the one thing that I'm going to do. That is not my client. My clients generally are people that have a pretty good idea who they are. They may do different things, and they're looking for what is the one umbrella I can put it all underneath. So staying with this example of this data scientist. So her idea is not just that, that the framework is just one piece.
Right.
So we created this, like, the whole umbrella on what actually what her business is, and what all the different things that she can do for the clients that she works with, on the consulting, on the speaking part, on being a podcast guest, so that we are really creating this whole system. How do we not just create what she does, but how do we push it out in the world, and then have this lead generation system, the client attraction system, the authority machine behind it to get her the recognition.
That's pretty intense and very in depth. So you definitely don't leave any stones unturned through your process. So she had to be very happy.
The German.
She had to be very happy after closing that $50,000 deal.
She certainly was. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you're also the founder of the Women's Code. I love the title. What is that? What is the Women's Code?
So the Women's Code I created because after I sold my business to Bill Gates, after this decade of bad luck, digging myself out of $135,000 in debt, and finally being able to get myself back on the map. And I sold the business to a Bill Gates company that's privately held by him. And I was offered a job, and I work in that company, and I looked at how men and women are treated in corporate America. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I looked at this, I'm like, what is going on here? So the men go do their thing, and then it's Monday morning, and everything that you talked about Friday was decided over the weekend, and you weren't even a part of it. And you go like, wait, but we said we were having a Monday morning meeting about it. And they went golfing or did some sort of
Good
thing.
Old boys club. That's what I mean,
it's just crazy. So I realized that women don't have a code, and that society, or, in your words, the label that society gives to women is that we all angry with each other, we all catfighting, we all mean, we all bitchy, we all she devils. And so this label that women have is that we can't get along with each other. And so in society, men fuel that because it means that men can take out half of their entire competition just by keeping women at each other's throat. And I saw that, Deanna, and I was like, absolutely no freaking way. And so I wrote the book, The Women's Code, because I said, the first step is that women need to get their own act together and say, we have our own code. We're not doing this anymore.
What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Can we get a round of applause today? Woo! Today I'm excited to announce MANSCAPED launched their Ultra Premium Collection. Believe it or not, it's for your not so private parts. I'm talking about leveled up hygiene routine with your favorite manly scent. And let me tell you something. Oh, it smells so good. My man wears this every day. This is an all-in-one skin and hair care kit for the everyday man and covers you from head to toe. MANSCAPED is trusted below the waist. Now trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust MANSCAPED by going to manscaped.com and use the code LABELFREE20 for 20% off and free shipping. And enjoy. So yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, I've recently, well, in the last couple of years, I surround myself with more supportive women than the women that are catty. I find when women are real catty or angry and want to like just be against you, it's because there's some underlying things happening in their lives that's making them very miserable. And so they don't want to see another woman succeed or be happy or just be elevating at a higher level. And so, or vibrating at a higher level. So, I try to stick, there's Athena. I try to surround myself with women that are supportive, encouraging, and they want to, celebrate your success, not cause your downfall. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely correct. And I think that there's so many different things that go into that. When I speak about this, what is really interesting, when I ask the question, who in this room has been like violated or bullied or harassed by the hands of another woman? Guess how many hands go up?
Whoa, probably quite a few.
All of them. When I ask who here has done anything to another woman, harassed or bullied her, how many hands do you think go up?
None.
Very few.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that most women think that this is being done to them, but the awareness
That they're
that
not.
they're actually doing this to other women is completely lacking. And I think this is really part of this this idea is like, well, she had it coming. You know, I mean, if she behaves like that, you know, yeah, she deserves it. She brought this up on herself. And then somehow the justification makes it okay for you to do these stupid things. And I give you one example where I thought this so stupid that I can't even believe this is happening. But I would, you know, go to the bathroom when I was at work, like everybody does. And the minute I went to the bathroom, they would go to lunch. And then when I came back, you know, after where I said, oh, you know, where'd you go to lunch? Oh, we couldn't find you. Yeah, that's because you waited until I went in the bathroom and then you like shot out of the office like, you know, like the devil was after you. Do you think I'm stupid? I mean, you know, that happens like once, but you know, after the fifth time you go like, what the heck is going on here? And it's like, oh no. We didn't know where you were. Well, sure you didn't. And you go and you think about that is so petty and so small that if you are in that mindset of that level of energetic vibration, I can guarantee you today, you will never, ever advance in your life to a position of power. Or when you do, you'll never make it past a manager because there is that kind of level of attitude is without a code. And it is so against everything. And so, yes, to your point, they don't want other women to succeed because they think that if you have it, it's not available for them.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, there's enough for everybody.
Yeah, there is enough for everybody. I love that. And so that's your book, founder of the book is called The Woman's Code.
The book is called Happy Woman, Happy World. And it's
like, Happy Woman, Happy World.
Happy Woman, Happy World. It's like right here. Yeah.
Where can people find that?
The book's available on Amazon as an ebook, audiobook, and as a printed version.
I like that. So you said that you sold your business to Bill Gates. What was that like?
That is like one of those things where you go, did that just like really happen? And and there were a couple of parts about this. There was a part where I had such bad fortune, Deanna, that I really had set this up and I said, this isn't going to happen to me again. And I am going to set this up. So it's an equity-based business. I'm going to position myself. I worked my butt off to get there. I had this in mind that I wanted to sell the business. And when the day came, it was like the day just kind of came because I had set it up. But then when the day came, and then you go to your account and you open your account and there's this like ginormous number with all these zeros behind it, you go, oh, okay.
Pinch yourself kind of moment, right?
Yeah, like, pinch yourself. And then I went, I think for the first time in my life, to like Bloomingdale's shopping with my daughter. And because I thought, you know, that's what you do when you make money. And I went to Bloomingdale's and my daughter goes and she looks at the Burberry, you know, trench coat and it's like $2,500. Yep. And I'm looking at that. I'm like $2,500 for a trench coat. That doesn't even make any sense. And then I looked at a t-shirt and a t-shirt was like $250. And I was like, you know what? I may have made a lot of money, but that's not going to change how I feel about what's valuable in life. Yeah. And I turned around and I walked out. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't this is just not how I value life.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Hey, there are great outlet stores everywhere with the brand name stuff that you can get for a fraction of the price. If you want some brand name stuff, go to the outlet store. I don't believe in spending that kind of money either, especially since I was a fashion designer and I know like what the process entails. And like, they're paying pennies on the dollar to get their products made. You're just paying for the name. That's it. That's how you're paying for. So you've got quite the story. Like it's very impressive. You didn't give up. You it's like a story of redemption where, you sold your business to Bill Gates and you kind of came out of, where you were being in debt and all that stuff. So that's awesome. So it is possible. Just work hard, keep going after your dreams. It is possible. What kind of business was it that you sold to him?
It was a stock photography syndication business. So I had specialized in interior and architectural photography. And what the piece was that company was interested in is the celebrity at home piece, because I had learned in my life, and this is probably one of the big takeaways of this interview. I want everybody to listen to very, very carefully. If you do it, go after the A-listers. Don't bother with the C level. C level is all about money, saving money, turning the pennies. You're gonna spin your wheels. If you do it, go straight after A. When A sees the value, A will pull the trigger. Once you have A, B will come, automatically, because they follow wherever A is. And so when I had the A-list photographers, I didn't, I kind of didn't really think about that they, of course, work with the A-list architects and the A-list interior designers, who then, of course, in return, work with the A-list celebrities.
Right.
And so then they would photograph these celebrity homes. And suddenly I had Francis Ford Coppola, Simon Baker, Terry Hatcher, Julianne Moore, Madonna, Seal. All these celebrity homes ended up on my desk as a side product of what I did. And in my previous, one of my previous jobs, I was a photo editor at Elle magazine in Germany. And so when they said, do you know what to do with these kinds of stories? Of course I knew what to do with these stories because I used to buy them.
Yeah.
And so that's the piece that I made a worldwide phenomenon. I didn't invent the celebrity at home story,
Right.
but I was the world leader in that category.
Wow, good for you. What's next for you? Like, I feel like you're just getting started.
I am just getting started, now, as what's really interesting for me right now is the art we are communicating. I find that internet marketing is kind of really like fizzling out, this like loud, follow this one thing. I think that podcasting and having these kinds of conversations is a very good way to introduce your services, your offer to people. And so I'm actually launching a mastermind for business owners who have a podcast. And that consists out of three pieces. It has a monetization aspect. It's like, how do you use your podcast to monetize? The second piece is, how do you build your authority? And we have an Instagram piece where we can build instant authority on Instagram that we do with a partner together. And there's a third piece where we do content maximization, where we've developed a whole system that we show them how to do, and how you can take one podcast a week and create over 25 touch points.
Wow, that's impressive. You have a podcast as well. What is the name of it?
My podcast is called The Business Growth Architect Show, and it is all about strategy. So we really focus on, very much like we hone right in. It's like, what is the strategy that you want to share? Because I believe that a lot of times people, when they hear strategy, Deanna, they think that strategy is sort of this difficult thing that's attached to a boring Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
What they don't understand is that there's a strategy for everything. There's a strategy for lead generation, a strategy for workflows, a strategy for project management, a strategy for sales.
Yeah.
And so I really want to help people to understand how many different types of strategies there are, and help them identify the ones that are doable for them.
Yeah.
So that they can say, not so much this one, but that one I can do.
Yeah, I love that. Where can people find you, connect with you, reach out to you?
So the best way is go to my website at beatechelette.com. Take a look around, use the contact us form, reach out. I love to hear about takeaways. You can connect with me all over social media. You either find me under Growth Architect or Beate Chelette. Check out the podcast, get the book, Happy Woman, Happy World. And if you have a question, just ask me. I'm here to answer questions and help.
I love it. You guys, I'm going to put all those links in the show notes, so don't hesitate to reach out to Beate. She's obviously a wealth of information. She's done some incredible things in her life, and she's just getting started. And from what it sounds, she's just really interested in helping people improve their strategies and their processes around becoming more successful. So with that being said, Beate, before we say goodbye, any last words of wisdom or advice you'd like to leave with the audience?
I think the biggest piece of advice, given my story, that I want to leave your audience with is don't take failure personal, but take failure as an opportunity and look at it like somebody with a stop sign who very politely stands at a cul-de-sac with a stop sign and just says, you don't even need to go here. This is a dead end, and just find another way.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. No dead ends. No dead ends. There's always another way. There's always
turn around.
Solution to every problem. That's what I say. A problem is just an opportunity to learn. But Beate, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing all of your incredible wisdom and your story, and just very, very impactful stuff. I love it. So thanks again.
Thank you for having me. And for all the listeners, make sure that you subscribe to Deanna's podcast and that you leave a 5-star review, because that's what she does it for.
Thank you very much. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Like she said, don't forget to follow, subscribe, rate, review, comment, share, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.